Need you to know it's not all that. Hey kitties, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Marilyn and I'm bringing you all things beauty, fashion, lifestyles. If you like that kind of stuff, go ahead and subscribe now. So in today's video, whenever you see that I have no makeup on, we're getting into some beauty. And so I got my hands on the new One Size primer, and this is for oily skin girlies. So if you have dry skin, you don't need this. But this is for us girls that tend to get oily throughout the day. And I was so excited to try this. I brought it as soon as it dropped on Sephora and it was delivered pretty quickly. So here we are. All right, so this is the packaging. It's called the Oil Sucker. It's extreme mattifying alkaline primer. All right, so on, as far as the specs of the primer goes, it says here it's an alkaline pH. It helps reduce excess oil balance. It helps reduce excess oil to balance and mattify. It has 15% mineral silicate complex, which tightens the appearance of pores. All right, and it also has microhyaluronic acid, which prevents over drying, which is also good. Because if you have oily skin, if you are too dry, your skin is going to try to produce an excess amount of oil and you just end up at square one, more than likely. All right, so the next item that it has in, or next ingredient that's in it, is Korean red ginseng, and that helps revitalize the look of skin. Okay, so as far as the instructions go, before we put this on, the instruction says to shake well before use, apply a smooth thin layer onto completely dry skin in oily areas only, and only is in capital letters. And it says, for best results, allow the product to dry for at least 3 minutes while remaining expressionless. So just being like, now I'm looking at a picture on the packaging of Patrick Star, and do you see how oily he is at the top? Do you think he's actually that oily, or did they just put a little, He is very mattified on this picture, but we'll be the judge, because I don't even know if that's actual oil or like oil that you put on your face. So we'll be the judge of that, okay? So let's get this out of the package so I can put it on and then do my makeup. And of course I'm gonna do a little wear test where I can keep it on for a couple hours and see how it wears and how oily my skin gets, or how not oily it is. So let's go ahead and this gives you, let's see, in this container is 1 fluid ounce. I think this is very expensive for a primer, but everything is expensive. I think this is about $35 or $36 for it, but if it works, it's gonna be worth it for me. Okay, and a little bit I'm sure goes a long way. And I'm only gonna put it in the areas that I get oily, which is my T-zone. So mainly like this area is where I get oily. I get a little oily on my forehead as well, so I'll put a thin layer there. But I don't care about that part of my face as much as this. Like I hate when right here gets too oily. Everything else can have a nice glow, but just right here, girl. And I also have large pores here, and this is supposed to tighten pores as well. So let's go ahead and put it on. I'm gonna get in a little bit closer. All right, so let's squeeze some out. Okay, so it comes, I like the consistency of this. So I'll just put that much for now and see what happens. And I'm gonna put it on my T-zone area, so right in here. Okay, and right away it's drying down pretty quick, but it does say wait 3 minutes. Oh, and expressionless, so let me shut up. I can really feel this sort of drying down to I'm trying not to have too much expression, but I can really feel it drying down on my skin, and right away it feels really, really matte. And the area where I put it, it's very smooth. So I just feel like my makeup is gonna look really good, really smooth, because it's reducing the texture like already. So We'll give it 3 minutes and I'll be back. Hey guys, so I am back. It's been longer than 3 minutes. It's been about 8 minutes, so the primer has had more than enough time to set into the skin. And as you can see, in the areas where I put it, I look a little bit ashy. It has like a white cast and it feels really tight on those areas. This really reminds me of, if you know, you know. Back in the day, we used to use like a layer of milk with magnesia to help absorb the oil on your skin, and your makeup used to be matte for so long. Okay, and I did that before, not for very long because I heard it wasn't the best thing to do for your skin, so I stopped. But this has a lot of similarities as far as the texture and the way that it dries down, so we'll see how it goes. Now you can see the little ashy areas here. I'm going to do my makeup and we'll see how the makeup blends and lays on top of this primer. I will speed through it because that's not the main point, but I do want you to see how the makeup behaves while being added to my face, you know, after the primer has been there, so you guys can, you know, and then we'll talk about it when I get back. And of course, I'm going to do a little wear test and wear it for a couple hours and see what happens. Am I going to get oily, or is it going to be like minimal? Am I going to even get oily at all? Girl, we'll see. So let me go ahead and just speed through my makeup. Okay, kiddies, I am back with my full face, my full bead. I have powder, everything, just a full face, and I did spray setting spray as well. So I did all the steps that I would normally do, and we'll just have to see how long this lasts. But this is what the makeup looks like. It looks really smooth, really nice. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't look any smoother than it would have looked had I not used the primer. It didn't really make much of a difference to me as far as the texture of my skin. My makeup looks how it normally looks when I use any primer. So the test is going to be whether or not it keeps me less oily, or, you know, if I don't even get oily at all, would be great. So I'm gonna be away for a few hours, and then I'm going to come back and we'll see how this makeup holds up. But I did my best to set it as normal. I did all my steps, so we have to see. Okay, kiddies, I am back. It's been about 4 hours since I've done the makeup, and this is what my face looks like. Give me a second, let me just put my lip combo back on, and then we'll get into the details. Okay guys, so my lip combo is back on, and let's talk about the primer. Okay, so my face looks really good to me. I think for it's been 4 hours, I do see some oil coming through, so keep that into consideration. I can still see the oil coming through, but again, I still look really good. I think that the makeup is just setting, and it's just setting to the skin, and I have like a natural matte finish. Now, is this primer life-changing? Is it doing anything that I haven't seen done before? No, it's not. In fact, if you have this primer, if you have the MAC Studio Fix Mattifying 12-Hour Shine Control Primer, you absolutely don't need the Patrick Star. You don't need, or the One Size, you don't need that one, because this is doing the same as this, like exactly the same. So for me, the One Size is just, it's okay, because I have other products that do the exact same thing. So I don't know if I was expecting it to be a lot different or even better than the MAC one, but it's not. The MAC one is in its lane, and then the One Size is in its lane. It's just a matter of preference or which brand that you prefer to buy, but they're doing the exact same thing. Okay, I can still see oil coming through. Like I said, it's been about 4 hours. I went outside, I took some pictures for a couple minutes, came back in. Now outside was hot. I live in Florida, so it is burning, girl. Like, it's literally 2 notches away from hell. It's hot. So take that into consideration. So I think my makeup held up pretty good for that. Now if I scoot in, now I do see here on my cheeks the oil sort of coming through. I can see the oil coming through. It did not do anything for texture. My texture is exactly the same, which, you know, I'm fine with, because that is literally my skin. Like, I can't do much about that. I know there's a lot of primers that claim to minimize that, and you know, sometimes they do, but my skin looks the same exact texture as it did prior to putting on the primer. Now, before I put the makeup on, it did seem very mattified, but as soon as the makeup hits the skin, it returns to normal, if you know what I mean. But it's doing a good job keeping the oil at bay. But if you have this MAC primer, you don't need this. And I'm feeling like me having both of them is a little bit of a waste. That's literally how I'm feeling. If you need a mattifying primer, you have oily skin, and you don't have any sort of primer in your collection that controls oil, I would say try this one. If you have a mattifying primer already, I'm almost positive it's going to be doing the same exact thing, so you don't have to feel the need to run out and buy this one, because this is like $36, and it's okay. It's okay. I feel like I can find a primer for less than $36 that does the same exact, like the same exact thing. So I guess it's just a matter of preference and which brand you prefer to support in a sense, because again, it isn't doing anything that's revolutionary or anything that I haven't seen done before. Okay, so I'm a seasoned oily girl. I've been doing this makeup thing for a while, and I've tried a few different things, and this is, it's okay. I don't know what to say. It's okay. It's not a bad primer at all. It works pretty well. You can see my face, to me, still looks very good, but I have something else that can do the same thing. And it's a matter of this, like, do I want to spend money on a bunch of the same shit? Like, I don't. Now, if I had to give the One Size mattifying primer a score on a scale from 1 to 10, I would give this a strong 8, because it is a good primer. I don't want you to think it's a bad primer. I just need you to know it's not all that. So I'm going to go ahead and just retouch so we can see what the makeup looks like once we mattify the face, so you can see, you know, the difference. I'm just going to grab it here, get my powder, and just tap it right here in the areas that are oily. All right, so you can already see the difference between a matte side and you can see that it's not so matte on this side. All right, see, now I'm back to matte. This is matte. It's because I did set my face again, or just retouch my makeup, and it looks matte again. So the makeup held up very nicely. Like I said, we are going to rate this a strong 8. If you need a primer, this is a great primer to look into. But if you can find something more affordable, I would say the more affordable one is maybe worth a try, because this is not doing anything that's not doing. Just to keep it a buck, just to keep it 100. Do you need to spend $36 on the primer? No. Absolutely not. No, I don't think so. All right, guys, so that is my review of the Patrick One Size, or Patrick, why I keep saying Patrick, it's the One Size Beauty Mattifying Primer. Okay, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. If you've tried this, let me know your thoughts on it. Don't forget to like the video. Be sure to come back, subscribe, watch another video, do all the things. Okay, do all the things. And if you look down at my subscriber count, if it does not say 10,000 yet, go ahead and subscribe, girl. Help me out reach to my short-term goal of 10,000. So go ahead and subscribe. Bye, guys. Let's go.